all these stories surrounding the ex-royals like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, remember the one where Prince Harry was outed as having a hotel bolt hole, somewhere that he wanted to go to when things got a little bit too much for him, or perhaps he'd fallen out with his wife Meghan Markle over incessant nagging about wanting to become an international star. One way or another, while they basically said this story wasn't true, there were far more, well, shall we say, affirmations of the fact that it truly was. Now, what's interesting about this is, as it emerged a little bit later on, it appears that the former royal known as Prince Harry claimed he was using this hotel bolt hole to write his autobiography, somewhere that he could collect his thoughts, talk into a recorder and do private Zoom chats. Now, what's strange, as we said before, is given you've got all of these rooms in your house, why on earth do you need to go somewhere else, quite frankly, to do private Zoom chats? We were told, of course, he'd like to use the gym, maybe have a snack, rest and watch TV. Again, creature comforts at home or not too happy. Either way, interesting story. Now, where it gets really complicated is this, because this particular author at the very same time was over in the United States. And as ever, we have to say allegedly. This is the one, of course, that's created a lot of controversy, a marketing genius by making sure he got his book talked about by many different people. And as we also pointed out, not much in the way of substance, you know. And the bottom line also is he simply could not be caught out again by lying, not just about his age, lobbing 6 years off, but of course lying about the fact that he'd had assistance from the former royals known as Harry and Meghan. But what was interesting was this particular hotel he became something of a frequent visitor to. And as ever, we have to say allegedly. Now, what was interesting also, they very rarely stayed for long, basically making the occasional phone call and checking things in the lounge, the open area, you know, of this boutique place. But what was interesting is this: on a regular basis, they would pick up certain packages. Now, if you remember, the last time that this particular bombshell was exploding was none other than when, of course, the former communications officer, Jason North, openly admitted that he was back and forth with all the messages that they needed to complete said book. This really harkles back to the time when the late and beautiful Princess Diana would jump into cars in darkened alleyways in London, telling certain people all about her tortured life. You see how history truly repeats itself. But more importantly, this author apparently would pick up a collection of packages. And according to that very well-placed source, they were very nervous about who gave them at what time, and more importantly, they were instructed at the exact point that they had to pick up packages from said concierge. Now, one could only surmise that perhaps this time around, they certainly were not willing to get caught out, perhaps on email, or indeed on WhatsApp, or any other level of social media. According to this particular source, these particular notes were written simply by hand in a nondescript writing form. One way or another, somebody is not telling the truth. Somebody out there, and we all know who that is, has certainly helped and assisted in some form or another in shaping this particularly nasty, poisonous, and some might say totally fictitious book. Either way, somebody, maybe two people out there, know exactly who it is. As ever, it is a developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.